welcome. What's for tea with Tracey? Hope everyone's having a great week. I know that we all here at Burgundy Library having a good week, aren't we, Carolyn?
Yeah, I have to say yes now, don't I?
Yeah. Today we're going to be cooking creamy Dijon steak with roasted veggies in the oven. It's really easy to do. So I'm going to get started on the roasted veggies first because it takes about 25 minutes in the oven to cook, and then we'll come back and do the steak. So I'm doing pumpkin, capsicum and red onion. So I'm going to cut them up in like, dice them up in like bite-sized pieces, and then put them on this baking tray that's been lined with baking powder with a little bit of oil, and sprinkle them with garlic powder. Now these have been washed, so they're washed potatoes, but I've also washed them myself, so everything's fine. So I'm going to cut these up first, and I'm going to put them on separate trays. So you just get your knife like this, and you just cut them up in like little bite-sized pieces, just like that. So we've got 5 people today for lunch. So I usually do 1 potato per person. That's normally a good, so I've got about 5 potatoes here. I've got my good knife. So we just chuck them all on the thing. It takes about 25 minutes in the oven. And the steak that I'm using today, because I'm using the 2-minute cooking steak, which is really thin. But if you want to use a thicker steak, you can cook that and then maybe just slice it. It's up to you what you want to do. All right. I read a really good book, probably last month, called Confessions on the 745 by Lisa Unger. Unger is the author's name, and she is really good. Twist and turns in
How
that
good
one.
is she?
Really good. Twist and turns in that one. All right, so here we go. So there's 5 of us, so, and you can use any potato. Just chuck them on the oven, and it's really nice. Like if you're making this for your family, you got leftover, roasted veggies. Just put them in the oven, and then in the fridge, and you can take them to work for lunch. What do you think, Carolyn?
You don't need to peel the potatoes?
No, I never peel the potatoes when I'm roasting them. It's a personal choice. You can if you want, but I don't. I use butternut pumpkin. I find it roasts better, and it's got a sweeter taste. So we're going to have some pumpkin as well. Do you prefer butternut, or do you like Kent?
Kent or Queensland blue.
Oh, I never knew you could get Queensland blue, actually. Really? I've never seen it. Do most supermarkets have it?
I can't say I've looked for it for a long time, but we used to always get it. I don't know if they still have it. So. That was just what Mum always got, so that's what I get, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
You sort of tend to follow, if you're used to having something, that's what you
normally always get used to having the same thing.
But the benefit of the butternut is the skin isn't anywhere near as thick.
It's easier to pick and cut up. Okay. So some people, surprisingly enough, I don't do it, but some people, when they cut up their pumpkin, some people leave the skin on it.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, I've been to restaurants before, or pubs, and you've ordered pumpkin, and it's come, and they've roasted it, but they've still got the skin on it.
Well, I think that's probably because it's easier. They don't have to waste the time peeling it.
I was going to say, when you think about it.
And it adds a little bit of extra colour onto the plate as well.
Yes. So, I mean, have you had roasted capsicum before?
Yep.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love it. I really like it.
It's all right.
All right, so I finished that. I'll put her in there. Okay, so I get it coated with oil. If Carolyn wants to come over, I've got oil on the bottom of the baking powder. If you just roll it like a package, and see how it's all now covered with oil, and then I use garlic salt because I like it, and I season it with, you can either season it with salt and pepper, or I season it with garlic salt.
I've never seen oil added that way. I usually just sprinkle it over the top.
No, that's the way I always do it, and works out really well,
There you
actually. You learn something new every day, lovey.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we've got the capsicum and the red onion. We just
How big are pieces of the capsicum?
I'll show you. It's just
In
like
strips?
no,
Chunks?
no chunks. It's chunks.
I have to say I prefer red capsicum.
I eat this raw. I love it.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so you just do like chunks like that. Just chuck it on. So I don't think the capsicum. I probably the capsicum and onion. It takes the same amount of time, 25 minutes. So.
Would the potato take longer?
A little bit longer. I'll put the potato in for 20, no, sorry. The capsicum's probably 20 minutes. So the potato takes about 25 minutes and the capsicum takes about 20 minutes. So Carolyn, have you been doing anything interesting, watching any interesting DVDs or shows? You were talking about something the other day, weren't you? Watching
rewatching the first series of Designated Survivor.
Now what's that about?
It's set in Washington DC.
Yes.
And the president is giving the State of the Union address. So at that it's everyone in the government. So it's Congress, it's the House of Representatives, it's the president, it's everyone.
That's a political drama basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when they have everyone in one place like that, they pick someone who's called the designated survivor. So if something catastrophic happened and everyone was killed in that building, there would be someone left to continue the government.
Oh.
And Kiefer Sutherland plays the main person, and he's had a bit of a contentious relationship with the president and is about to get, well, not the sack technically, but he's being farmed off to become something else. And he's chosen as the designated survivor.
Ah.
And someone blows up the Capitol during the speech and everyone is killed.
Except him.
Except for him. So he has to sort of work out what he's doing, and then there's lots of intrigue about who
did it and all that
did it, and then you find out other people that are involved, and it's, yeah.
Sounds interesting.
It is interesting. And on Netflix there's 3 seasons, but we've only got 1 season in DVD.
At least the original library?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm doing the onions. I cut it in and I sort of took them apart so they're like that. Okay, so I'll do a couple of red onions. I don't like brown onions roasted. I like red onions because it's got a sweeter taste. Okay, so here we go. So I just sort of...
You didn't put your glass?
No. So you cut your onion like that and then you just take it apart. Oh dear me. Sniffy,
Don't
sniffy,
cry, Tracey. Don't cry.
Alright, so as I said, roll it like a package. See how it's now coated nicely. And we'll get our garlic salt. And sprinkle over. And that's that. So I'm going to put that in the oven, half an hour, 30 minutes for the potatoes and pumpkin, and 25 minutes for the capsicum. And then we'll come back and we'll cook the steak. Welcome back. The veggies are just about done. We're going to cook our steak now, which only takes about 4 to 5 minutes because I'm using, as I said before, the really thin steaks. If Carolyn wants to come over here, they're like the 2-minute steaks that you cook. That's really good. So we've got a little bit of olive oil or vegetable oil, any oil you want to do to put in the pan. Okay, so we're going to turn the frying pan on. Okay. Swish around our oil to cover the pan. And then we're going to put our steaks in. So as you can see, they're very thin. These are probably good like for steak sandwiches if you want a quick steak. So this is what we're going to have. Season with a little bit of salt and pepper if you like. But I haven't got any today, so we used it all last time I forgot to replace it.
You could garlic salt them.
Yeah, actually that's a really good idea. I forgot about that. Thanks, Carolyn. You're on the wall, love it. Let me garlic salt them. And then when they're ready, I will put them on a resting plate to do the mustard sauce. Okay, so to make the mustard sauce, you need 300 mils of cooking cream or thickened cream, whatever is handy. You need a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and you need 2 stock cubes. They say that you only should cook the steak once. See how they're cooking really, and I've got the pan on medium, it's not on high.
So can you cook these in a pan on the stove?
Yep, you can. You can do everything on the stove. If you haven't got a frying pan, you can do everything.
Or on the barbecue.
On the barbecue too, but you can't make the sauce in the barbecue, obviously. Right. So I'd probably give it about 3 minutes. They take 6 minutes to cook, probably 3 minutes on each side. Because it's not like they thick that you have to, do you know what I mean? You just want to brown them. Right. I'll turn that over yet. See how that's not quite ready? It's still pink. So you want it completely brown before you turn it over. I've got my wooden spoon today, but I'll be using that spoon. How many of this serve it? Oh, we might actually get a steak a little bit each. So there's 6 of us today. The Bernadette's just having the veggies. So they're really thin pieces of steak. So this is where we don't cover it because we want to, the steak juices are going into the oil, onto the oil. So when we put the stock cube, the cream in the stock cube and the Dijon mustard, it'll use the nice juices from the steak to make a nice sauce. So you can cook your steak however you want, and I'm going to be adding the steak back into the pan and put the lid on it while I get the veggies out and serve it. If you find that your pan is too juicy, just remove that. Probably because we've got so many in the pan. We didn't put a lot of oil in it. There we go, that's better. Oh, they're cooked now. See how they're brown?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to get them out and put them on our tray just to rest, and then we'll make the rest of the items. And you've still got a few juices in there from the pan. I'll turn it up a little bit. Okay, so stir this down like that. Get a little bits and pieces. All right, so we're going to get our cooking cream. Oops. And our stock cubes. I'm going to use 2 beef stock cubes. So let's put our cream in like that. Turn it down. Okay, put in our beef stock cubes. Make sure they're all crushed up. You don't want to boil it, you just want to have a little bit of a simmer. And as you can see, we will do a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. So a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Okay, now we're going to add the steak back to the pan and any roasting juices.
Oh, I don't do that.
I do that.
I put the steak on the plate and then tip the juices back in and then serve it.
Well, I'm just going to cover that. This is the way I do it. You can do it any way you want. Okay. As I said, you see some of the resting juices from the pan. Okay. Pull that in. Turn it up a little bit. So that's sat there. That's all the sauce made. So when we take the steak out, we'll put it on a plate. And we will serve it up. I'll turn the frying pan off. And these are the capsicum and the carrot, onions. See how that's what we do. Perfect. Right, the steak at the frying pan. You might be able to have one more than one piece of steak because I think there's a little extra. But just to show. Here we go, there's the sauce. And we'll get you some pumpkin. Some potato. You want some capsicum?
I'll have capsicum
Red?
I'm picky.
That's all right. You want onion?
No, thank you.
Okay, and that is what's for tea with Tracey. See you next week. Have a lovely week. Take care of each other. Bye.